title is Comparative Analysis of Third-Year FSM Performance in Online versus Face-to-Face Classes. And today we are going to discuss and answer 7 questions about our study. Next slide, please. A main objective of the study. This study was designed to compare the performance of the third-year students of food service and management students of TUP Manila in an online versus face-to-face learning. Next slide. B. Why did you choose this particular topic? What is its relevance? Online classes and traditional classes, or also known as a face-to-face classes, are two types of learning. They both provide almost the same type of education and offer quality education. The study aims to compare online learning versus face-to-face learning among third-year food service and management students who took up the course from 2019 to 2021. This will seek to compare online learning and face-to-face learning based off the performance of the students. Next slide, please. C. What are your specific research questions? The survey form was divided into two parts. The first part requested socio-demographic characteristics such as age, gender, and status of the third-year FSM student in TUP Manila. The second part of the questionnaire included the questions on how online class and face-to-face class affected the student's performance and which one is an effective way of learning setup. The next questions is to be answered by Miss Maria Angela Salonga. Thank you.
Letter D. What is the study design, sample data gathering procedures, and tools did you apply on this study? Research design. This study used qualitative method to collect the data of comparative analysis of online versus face-to-face among third-year food service and management students 2019 to 2021. This design is used to compare how the independent variables, which are online class and face-to-face class, have an impact to the performance of third-year FSM students of TUP Manila. Next, population and sampling. Population and sampling, the study's respondents include 20 third-year FSM students from TUP Manila who experienced studying the course through an online and face-to-face setup. There will be both male and female participants ranging in age 19 to 25 years old. Simple random sampling is used by the researchers to acquire information about the population. A simple random sample is a random subset of a population, and this sampling process ensures that every member of the population has an equal chance of being chosen. This method is the simplest of all probability sampling methods because it only takes one random selection and the little prior knowledge of population. Next, research instrument. Research instrument, the researchers will use an adaptive research question from previous studies to identify the comparison of online classes to face-to-face classes. To collect the data from 50 respondents for this study, the online link was posted and reposted on the Facebook timeline of the researchers, different Facebook groups, sent through friends or acquaintances through Facebook Messenger. Next slide. Letter E, what is the statistical treatment did you use to answer each research question and why? Statistical treatment of data, the researchers use frequency distribution, percentage, weighted mean, and z-test as statistical tools in this study. Next, to interpret the data, the researchers also use Likert scale and weighted mean to determine the result of each question. We have rating, the score range, and lastly, the interpretation. From rating 543 to 1, and the score range was about 4.221 to 5.00 and until to 1.00 to 1.80, and our interpretation was the strongly agree, agree, uncertain, disagree, strongly disagree. And now, I would like to acknowledge Miss Mary Jane Gumabaw. Thank you. F. What result did you obtain for each question? Result and discussion. Age. There are 50 participants. The table shows that 28% of participants are 18 to 20 years old, 70% are 20 to 23 years old, and 2% are 24 to 26 years old. Majority of the participants are age 21 to 23 years old. For gender, there are 50 participants. The table shows that 78% of the respondents are female, while 22% of respondents are male. Majority of the participants are female. For the result of our survey of FSM students are 36, which is agree. May I call on Journaling Tablasan for letter G. Thank you.
G. Conclusion and recommendations. Conclusion. The aim of this study was to evaluate and contrast the academic achievement of FSM students who took classes in traditional classroom versus those who took them online. Data was gathered from 50 respondents who were enrolled in the third year of the FSM program at TUP Manila with the assistance of an online survey. The questionnaire had question that might lead to a comparison of the two factors that the researchers employed in order to gain an understanding of how well the participant performed. In order to gain a deeper comprehension of the findings, the researcher performed a statistical analysis on the data and then interpreted their findings. The, find The findings of the current study, taken as a whole, have the potential to make a contribution to the literature that has come before it and that is already in existence, drawing attention to the ways in which traditional classroom settings and virtual learning environments affect the academic performance of the students. If the offered variables are shown to have a substantial link with one another, both the researcher and the readers will have a deeper grasp of the topic. And for the recommendations, the researcher can be expanded upon by future researchers by conducting additional investigation or observation and applying it to the study. The study will have some elements that need to improve. The following is a list of suggestions for prospective researcher written by current researchers for those who wish to do research in the future about the performance of students in traditional classroom settings as opposed to virtual classroom settings. Future researcher may improve the following. Future researcher may conduct a study about the current variables and use other research design. Future researcher may look for other variables that can be studied related to current study. Next is, if the future researcher use academic performance, they can look for a test scale for the basis instead of relying on the general weighted average.
And that would be all about our study. Thank you for watching and listening.